Folks, as we said earlier in the show, we are joined by a very special guest. We have Matthew Buhrmann, beat writer for the Miami Redhawks for the Hockey Writers, joining us to give us a little extra outlook into the Sun Devils series at Mullet Arena against Miami. Matthew, thank you for joining us. Hope the weather's not too cold for you out there in Ohio.
It's not too bad. I mean, it's been 40s, 50s, way better than it was when we had snow like last month, but it's not too bad.
I want to take the opportunity. You've covered this team for quite extensively. What's the biggest difference you're seeing in the team this year compared to last year's infamous record-setting season?
I mean, just it put it simply, it's the talent on the roster in itself. I mean, they're able to compete physically. They win more face-offs. They're putting up the scoring numbers. I'm not sure what they ranked in scoring last season. I would imagine it's near dead last in the country. I'm sure it is. I know they're in top 15 scoring team in the country, goals per game now. So just in terms of talent, I mean, they have Ilya Morozov gonna probably go first round. That's just in terms of 21 new players. I believe it was 14 freshmen, maybe. It's what, 13? There's a lot of freshmen, but a lot of transfers coming in, like Vladislav Lukashevich from Michigan State, Matteo Giampa. So, I mean, just a lot of, just in terms of raw talent, it's in speed and all of it. It's not even close.
We'll go around the room. Andrew, we'll kick it to you next for your questions for Matthew.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Ilya Morozov, the 17-year-old freshman. What's he done for this Miami team?
I mean, when you just want to look at him, I mean, just his size in itself. I can pull this up. I spoke with him earlier this week. I mean, he was mentioned to me how he wants to really model his game after Alexander Barkov and Leon Draisaitl, and I think he's doing a pretty good job. But his offensive production at times, I mean, has been a little inconsistent in NCAC play. But I mean, he is the youngest player in college hockey, so I mean, he's put up. I think I looked at it. It was like 11 of his 14 points have come against non-conference opponents, but face-offs. I think he leads the team in face-off wins. I can pull it up here. 183 face-off wins. I don't think he doesn't have the best percentage, but he's been able to be just in terms of scoring in big moments. I believe he scored an overtime goal, shootout winner. I think the overtime goal came at Lindenwood, and then shootout winner Colorado College. I mean, also with Noreen, he's mentioned to me many times he's not afraid to put him in. He's on the top line. I should obviously mention that, centering the top line with Coach Adelic and Matteo Giampa immediately, like, gets thrown in there at 17, just turned 17 too. So he plays top penalty kill unit. He plays top power play as well. I mean, literally every situation he'll be on the ice. So I mean, just I mean, I know I can go on and on about what he does for the team, really, but you know, I don't think that does it justice. I can't say everything, to be honest.
Austin, anything for you from a distance before we go back around the horn?
Yeah, so take us a little bit off the ice here. Some people might know Miami, Ohio a little bit better for its football program. You know, Ben Roethlisberger came out of there. But tell us more about the hockey fan base and the culture surrounding the hockey team there on campus and in the city. Is it bigger than the football program, or how plugged in are people in that area to the hockey team compared to other traditional sports?
I would say hockey is, like, when their team's rolling, like back in the day, it is the main sport. I mean, from my perspective, I mean, their football, I mean, you got the cradle of coaches, obviously. I mean, Miami they wore a special jersey this year, like the hockey team did, and the football team as well. It was like the same jersey, but I feel like the hockey program, I mean, I used to go to the games growing up. It's a very massive fan base. It stretches pretty far and wide throughout the country, but fans are starting to kind of draw back in and get to games now. I think they had, like, especially the Friday night game against St. Cloud and maybe November, right before Thanksgiving break. It was completely sold. Like it was literally at capacity, and I haven't seen it like that in years. It was unreal atmosphere, all of it. It literally felt like going to like a game back when they had like Andy Mealy and Alec Martinez and all those guys. So I mean, it they're starting to get like the fans buying in, and people are starting to like comment more on my stuff. Like you can tell when people are getting angry or they want to like react, like they're starting to care more. I mean, there's not much anger, but like people are starting to like interact on social media more with it, and just Noreen just getting people to buy in, really. He's very vocal about that. I mean, he appreciates it. I mean, literally, you go to the game, like, it's like you walk in, he's literally out there talking to fans, like, in the, like, when you walk into Goggin, he's literally out there talking to fans and engaging. So he's really getting people to start to buy in for what they're doing. And I mean, you can even look at the recruiting classes coming in. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if they do like 3-star, 4-star, 5-star kind of thing in hockey, like football and basketball and stuff. But I'm sure if there is, it'll be pretty high recruiting rankings.
Matthew, you and I have been talking about this at length throughout the season. The goaltending question, Chika Gadziev with the ongoing eligibility issues and ultimately leaving the program. In comes Matthias Langevin from the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League. How has the goaltending situation affected the vibe in the locker room, or has it really affected the team as a whole?
I'm not entirely too sure about the vibe in the locker room. I know when I've talked to Mateo Drobak I've talked to him once. I mean, they really like him and Chika before Matisse came, and then Benji Motu or whatever, or I think that's how you say his last name. Is like the third goalie now, but with the vibes, I would say, I mean, I think it's good now that that Shika's kind of moved on, and so it's not really like, kind of like looming over the team, because he was the clear number one coming into the season. He was the most just athletic, and I mean, Mateo's a very good goalie, but Shika was like considered the number one. Matisse and Mateo, I think, will compete. They're for number one spot now, but I can't really give you with the locker room. I only know what Noreen has told me, but I think it's really good they figured out their situation. And I will add, with the way Noreen handled the situation, they basically kept an extra roster spot with the house settlement, and so he basically like planned ahead if Shika was to not get cleared, so he could go get that goalie, so they don't only have two. So they pursued to get Matisse Langevin, I believe, in September or something, after he was released from the Colorado Avalanche training camp. But they had that planned all along, just in case Shika did not get cleared. But I think the vibes are pretty high now with the goaltending room, and they're probably all going to like feed off each other in practice. And I know they had scrimmages. I didn't hear too much, but I know they're very competitive, and they give everybody a shot in that goaltending room to earn it. So I think it'll be more of a tandem now as well. I will add that. So it could very well be you see two goalies this weekend.
Andrew, we'll kick this one back to you.
Yeah, for my final question, Matthew, is this Arizona State team's rolling right now? Won a lot of games against top 10 teams. I don't know if you know Cruz Lucius, Bennett Shimmick, top 2 point scorers in the NCAA. What's this Miami team going to do to stop them?
I don't know what the penalty or the power play is clicking at. I was writing my article, but do you by chance know how the power play is on the season? I'm sure it's good.
I want to say over 20%, somewhere right around there.
Stay out of the penalty box is massive. I would also say, I mean, just win the special teams battle. You're going to have to win that. That's been their kind of Achilles heel at times in NCHC play. There's been a lot of games they've been in, but they just have not been able to score on the power play like in NCHC play and capitalize on some opportunities. 5-on-5, I think they've been a better team most nights, except some of like the Denver games and I think one of the Western games, I would say. Those I will also add, they have not won a road NCHC game yet this season, so it's not going to get very easy. I'm sure I've never been to Mullet, but I'm sure it's not a very easy atmosphere to play in. So also add that they've lost at Denver, been swept at Denver, been swept at Western. Western was nuts. I was up there for that. That's just the loss and lunatics. That's just how it goes. But Denver's pretty raucous, and then Mullet is. So getting over that hump as well, I guess you could say. I don't know if there's anything to that. I guess there might be, but I'd also say stay out of the penalty box. Get more shots on net on the power play. Get traffic in front of the goalies. I mean, very good goalies. I don't know who is expected to be in goal this weekend. Does Greg Powers announce that at all or no?
He's notoriously tight-lipped until the morning of the game.
Yeah, that's how it usually is. But either way, both goalies are very capable and very good goalies. So you need to get traffic in front of them. Stay out of the penalty box, I would say as well. And I'd say defensively, kind of off the rush, they can struggle a little bit at times. Like giving up some turnovers and kind of hanging the goalie out to dry occasionally. That happens a little bit in some of these NCHC games. So like, there's been a lot of they didn't get the full 3 points because they kind of had like a defensive breakdown late in the game. Like Colorado College comes to mind, and there's been some times it's gone to overtime and it really shouldn't have. They should have easily got 3 points. And then there's times where, I mean, the first Arizona State game comes to mind when Miami, I think the Friday night game, I think there were like 12 penalties in that game. Might be more than that. It was ridiculous. I mean, you want to attribute that to raffing. You need to limit penalties, and then you also don't capitalize on the power play. You're just kind of putting yourself in a really bad situation. So,
yeah, I think some of that early game, the penalty situation can be attributed to just early season. A high number of penalties getting called across the board. I think some of it may have just been a little bit of hypersensitivity from the officiating, but that's just my 1,000-foot view of it. Austin, I'll kick the next one to you if you've got anything.
I think Andrew nailed it on the head there, asking about ASU going in. Otherwise, I think we all talk about how important splits are on the road and taking both games at home. Who do you think is the more, I don't want to call it desperate, but who do you think needs the points more, Miami or Arizona State going forward this season?
I almost want to say it's about the same. I don't want to do that, but like it literally is. I would say probably Arizona State. It would damage them more to get swept than it would damage Miami to get swept because it's at home. It'll hurt you more, and Miami's 30 MPI. I don't know what Arizona State is. I think 20 something, probably 25 last time I saw. Yeah, I was close. It's up and down, but if I had to guess how this outcome goes, I will say a split, but I don't think it would be a Miami sweep. I think at the most it'll be a splitter as Arizona State sweep. But needing it more, it's tough to say really, because Miami really needs that. It would like a sweep on the road at Arizona State would literally probably put them like they would probably get ranked, potentially get ranked.
I'm going to piggyback off of that thought for my last question. Miami's really been able to turn it on in the non-conference play, picking up the win in the Friendship Four over in Belfast, and then playing to a third-place finish at the Great Lakes Invitational just a couple weeks ago. But NCHC play has been a bit of a boondoggle for the Redhawks. Call it the strength of the conference. Some would go as far as call it the SEC of college hockey. But is this roster that Coach Noreen has put together, is this built to weather the storm of that NCHC gauntlet?
Yeah, I would say so. It's just there's been a lot of close games that they've just kind of not been able to find that goal in the third period. I mean, I would say the Arizona State game, really. The Friday night game, that first game. That game was like 3-2 until like the like no time left, and I think it ended 5-2, I believe, maybe. But that's empty netting. That game was a 3-2 game until the end. I believe that's how it went. You can
4-1
probably check.
final for that Friday game.
Well, two. It was that thing was 2-1 until like basically the end. Then I just had the
Yeah.
scores mixed up. There's a St. Cloud loss. It was a 4-2 final. I do like remember that score off my head. That was like 3-2 until the very end. So there. I would say it's very much built to win in the NCHC. Is it built to like go to the NCAA tournament? Is it built to like win the NCHC? I don't think so at this moment. Just because I mean you got to look at the recruits coming and stuff like that. I think it will be in years to come. I will say that. Like this program is very much on the rise, and Frozen Four within like 4 seasons. Like I would not be surprised in like 3 to 4 seasons, like a Frozen Four, and getting back into the NCAA tournament. That's very much possible. I mean, 2-3 seasons, I could see it happening. But I'm not gonna jump out over my skis about this team that they're gonna. I don't know what's in store for the second half, but I would say to answer your question, it's built to win against these. It's built to win against the St. Cloud State. It's built to win against the Colorado College. Arizona State. I would say Arizona State's pushing like the mid to upper tier. To win on the road at a Western or a Denver, that's really tough for anybody. To steal a couple games from those kind of programs, I think they can. But to answer your question, yes.
I appreciate all of the great insight. Don't miss any of the action this weekend from Mullet Arena. Both games will be on NCHC TV, 7 p.m. puck drop on Friday night, 5 p.m. puck drop on Saturday. Our thanks again to Matthew. Make sure to check out his work for the hockey writers for the Miami Redhawks all season long.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.